The Troyness nears.
Do, 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 do. Hey! It's Mumamo! My apologies for running a little late. It was Adobe's fault.
And if you had a tab open in the background, Troy may have just given you a heart attack.
That's right. I hope I did. That'd be awesome. Hey, look at all these friends in chat just hanging out and being cool. You cool kids. Look, we've got Kate the Great. Always a pleasure when Kate the Great stops by to just hang out and generally be great. It's one of my favorite things about Kate. Claude's here as well.
Tomorrow.
What was that?
I get to hang out with Kate the Great tomorrow.
I know you do.
Lucky
We're going to
you.
talk more about that. We've also got Nate here. Nate, good to see you, my friend. I like to call him old non sequitur Nate. Devious is here as well. Of course, we'll be hearing from Devious a little later in the program. Adrian Lorenzo, good to see you. Welcome to the program. Grant Anderson's here. We've got Squire Cortez. You know, Squire and I we're planning some stuff. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something at least, right? Let's see, who else do we got? Paul, you know what? Good to see you. We've got Michael J. Pastor's here and King Snarf. Wow, you know this place is
Gang's all here.
It's huge. This is a big deal, guys. Who else? Am I missing anyone? David Bollock, I see you. Mastermind of Pook, of course you're there. Our good friend and community stalwart, really, honestly. SC Terra Marine, good to see you. I think we got some information, some news, if you will, on for relating to SC Terra Marine. We have so many people hanging out that we blew right past our music, so I wasn't able to say welcome, guys.
Oh,
I'm here.
Alex is dissolved into static.
Right. Sorry, we gotta adjust the tracking on the VCR to get Alex to back in at his seat.
He's on
Alex,
assignment in the
number 5 alive.
He's on assignment in the 1980s.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm the least qualified person for this mission.
Alex is the only one who could go because he wasn't born then.
A non sequitur, not non secular. Nate, I'm not one to dig into your deity of choice, but no, non sequitur.
Mm-hmm.
Like SEQUETER, I think. Yeah, the 80s were the best, SC Terra Marine. You were absolutely correct about that. Alex, where are you?
So something really funny happened.
Really? Do tell.
The dog I'm watching came and knocked over the pot of baking flour that was on my mom's table, and now there's flour all over the floor, and I want to get it before he eats it.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, then.
I'm here.
Pop up covered in flour.
Right.
Yes. This is the.
Pay no attention. It's not cocaine. I can't afford that.
Right.
Well, so today, here's the deal. It's when you're someone like me, who I just wake up funny. I was born.
You go to bed funny. You wake up funny.
I really do.
Okay.
And when it's baked into your DNA, it's really hard to know how to tell other people to be funny.
It's true. It comes so naturally.
How can you teach it when you are it?
Right.
Exactly. It is the thing that you are. It's very difficult. But what's funny, Steve, is we were talking earlier today, and I was like, Steve, what is this that we're
Troy? I've got you because I am not funny.
Yeah, that's not true.
So, I can definitely talk about, breaking down funny in the least funny possible way.
Right. Let's break it down into all of its components. How to funny. I will say this, though. You may be the better kind of funny, wherein I'm always just a jackass, but you will come out of the blue with these zingers that will literally, flip my wig right off my head. I have guffawed to my stomach aching. So and Alex
guffawed to many a bon mot on my part.
Exactly. And so I would posit that we are all funny in our
in
see me.
our own particular ways. And of course, Alex is slapstick funny. So
That's right. That's
It's
that's
true.
right.
I'm doing my physical comedy right now.
if only everybody could see it.
Devious.
No, I took my pants off so I didn't get. I took my pants off so I didn't get flour all over them.
Oh,
Of
nice.
course you did.
Of course.
Of
I'm
course
wearing
you
black
did.
sweatpants, and I don't want them to be white sweatpants.
That's the thing to say when you're like, officer, I took my pants off so I didn't get flour all over them.
That's exactly right. This is all a setup for a real big bust. Something's
Look,
gonna
the
happen.
one time I got arrested was funny like that.
Pardon my zinger, says Kingstar. But I did, Nate. I did see that you said that is you, and yes, my friend, it is indeed. And with all love, I share that as a new title for you to embrace. Um, okay, fair enough. Paul says I'm not a jackass. I'm a silly goose.
That is true.
I'll cop to that. I like that.
I
So
will agree.
yeah, let's talk about what this is, and
Right?
what we're doing, and how one may want to do it.
Well, I mean, there's of course, as we've talked about many times before, comics and superheroes have embraced all genres in one way or another, from fantasy and science fiction to noir, and of course to slapstick comedy.
Yeah,
Um, and there are plenty of comedic comics and characters to serve as inspiration for a funny Mutants and Masterminds game.
I'm
And
sorry,
of
Steve. I'm
course,
gonna put you on pause because I think Alex might be walking around without any pants on. So I think I'm.
No, no, I put them back on. I put them back on.
just
I
wanted to call
did.
attention to that.
I did. I would like people to roll the tape on their own time, but I was going to turn his camera off. But anyway,
Give the
he's
people
back.
what they want.
Yep,
Pented, and yeah, that's exactly right.
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
sorry, Steve. Do please.
Save it for the Magic M&M episode, Alex.
The Eminem OnlyFans hour. All right. Sorry, Steve. Go on.
No, it's all right. So, I mean, the great advantage that you have where we're doing funny Mutants and Masterminds games is you are playing a tabletop role playing game. So, odds are good that you have to spend a certain amount of effort to keep the game from turning into slapstick anyway.
Yeah.
All you have to do is stop putting that effort in, and your game will practically be guaranteed to be funny.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I think too that it is a very well used trope of I'm in the shadows. I'm very sad. My parents are dead. I'm responsible. I was only a kid, and
Mm-hmm.
and on it goes. Like it's not everything has to be
Right.
heavy and dour. I
Grim
will
and
say,
heavy. And
yeah, it took me a little time to embrace me, the funny mist, the
and
slapsticky kind of goofy stuff.
then before we know it, you were playing a Hollywood robot in the 30s.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so, yeah, and now I love it. But I think that there's some structure and some stuff that's important to kind of observe as we see Alex beaming in from the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me, friend Alex. When you are good at you are, I would say, a master at creating the funny, zany. You love a pun, and you encourage it, and it really lightens the load. But you also balance it out sometimes with
Mm-hmm.
some real deep and real struggle in your campaigns. Talk to me about that and what you do to prepare for funny.
Well, I think one thing that I learned early on in my career as a writer and an actor and a GM was that comedy is about audience expectations and horror is about audience expectations. And
Hmm.
comedy can be a fail state of horror if you set up something that you think is scary and then everybody thinks it's hilarious. And horror
Okay.
can be a fail state of some comedy if you say something
Mm-hmm.
funny and it's terrible and traumatizing to everybody around you.
Right. Well, wasn't it Mel Brooks that's just said comedy is tragedy happening to somebody else?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that definitely makes sense. And but it can be difficult too to there's got to be some structure there, right? Funny doesn't mean like the absence of a direction, or it doesn't mean like let's
No.
everyone go
Oh no,
nuts. No, okay.
it's very tied into people getting all of the pieces of what's happening and then those pieces being presented in a way that isn't what they expected.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you have to have the pieces before you start just unloading the funny on people.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah, and it. Have you ever run a campaign that was just strictly for laughs?
All the
Never.
time.
No, Steve, that is not true. But yeah, so how do you? Because I would think too that when you look at, it seems to me that a taste of funny, only funny once in a while
Mhm.
is fun,
Yep.
Mhm.
and doing something real serious once in a while is fun. But there should be a spectrum, right? A universe of sort of
Mhm.
these different emotional sort of points, and to live in one forever. I mean, I guess you're a sitcom at that point.
To his point, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
So,
that's the
so
difference between telling a one story or telling a serialized story. If you sit down with a scenario, I have several scenarios that are meant to just be funny. Like
mhm.
Into the Idiot Box is the perfect
Is
example,
a funny scenario. Yeah.
where
yeah, yeah,
people show up and they know the premise of the thing and they want to indulge in that, not that zaniness for a while. Or
Right.
I run Harley Quinn the musical, which is meant to be a musical comedy.
got it. Yeah, yeah, and I think too that funny is a little relative, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Very.
yeah, and so what may be funny for some folks and not funny for others. Let's make the presumption that you've done all the homework, you put all the pieces together, you're not making jokes at anybody's expense, and
Right.
um, what are some of the outside of that first initial? Hey, this one's going to be for fun.
Mhm.
That you have the discussion with your around your table. What are some of the other mechanics and things that you want to evaluate as part of that?
Well, I think you definitely want to go very light on the certainly on the not necessarily on the combat, but on the consequences of combat.
Hmm.
In fact, generally
Mhm.
speaking, in comedy adventures, you want to go very light on consequences. Period. You know, things like Into the Idiot Box are a great example of the characters are in a scenario where things are essentially not real,
Yeah,
and so therefore weird and slapstick things can happen, and nobody's really going to get hurt. There aren't going to be any lasting harm, done. You could definitely, be really generous with characters both bouncing back from damage and just generally not worrying about it all that much.
yeah,
You know, um, like Alex says, funny situations, especially when you're dealing with superheroes and superpowers, can get kind of horrific really fast if you're not keeping things light and you're not, enforcing the notion that, yeah, no, nothing bad is happening here, you know,
yeah, right, yeah, exactly,
sort of a
exactly.
thing.
I think
Although some people think it's really funny when it goes way over the top, and
Yep.
everybody's a balloon made of blood.
You know,
right, right. Okay,
sure.
so that's that strikes me as a theme of sorts, or a
Yeah.
theming discussion, right? This
Yep.
is this
It
is
is.
ultra violence humor, whatever that sort of
Mhm.
uh,
Right.
culture jamming ends up, making sense to your community or the people who are playing.
Hmm.
But I also think that there's something else to outside of the mechanics of it. When people are as a jokester, as somebody who's just like a court jester all the time, and I'm just
Hmm.
not, I mean, I try to put it away, but then I realize I can't because it's just what I do. You can sometimes end up putting yourself into a position or finding yourself in a position where the funny now has shifted and morphed into you're the butt of a joke,
Mm.
and any kind
Mhm.
of you know experienced mathematicians will know that and can kind of they've developed the skills to get out of those circumstances, but there are oftentimes people around the table that can end up feeling picked on, or
Hmm.
they
Yeah,
don't get the joke, and then it starts to feel a little something
Yeah.
different.
yeah. I think that's so. One of the key things when running something that's meant to be funny for the group is knowing who you're playing with and having sort of like knowing what their sense of humor is like, knowing what they think is funny, knowing what is not a topic to cross for them,
Yeah.
but also encouraging everybody to be participating, where
Yeah,
everybody is involved in the funny. It's not just one person being funny at everybody.
Right.
Um, Games where one person is clearly trying to just be the ham and just be the comic relief, that can get exhausting quickly.
Yeah, it can be hard to sustain, and okay, this is interesting.
It's
Claude,
always funnier if everybody is giving punchlines and if
Right.
everybody is doing setup and
yeah.
everybody is paying off.
And so rather than sort of zeroing in on I'm going to make jokes at the expense of a player, I'm going to give the player the space to make fun, to have to kind of choose their own. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to have somebody be the butt of a joke or to be play the straight man to other people's humor, that's what your NPCs are for.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and definitely take the opportunity. You can definitely come up with characters in your game who the players would love to have the opportunity to make fun of, or supervillains that they would love to torment with practical jokes, or a certain amount of humor.
Yeah.
Daedalus springs to mind for no reason.
Did you say Daedalus?
Yes.
Yes, right.
Right.
The most famous of our damsels in distress.
As detailed in Alex's forthcoming campaign, Pranking Daedalus.
That's right. That's right. And I think too, it's really great to when you set up the pratfall or you set up the joke or the bit or the whatever, that you open it up to let a person step into that. Like let them, like they know the pies are coming. If they don't want the pie, create an opportunity for them to duck. But if they do, they'll step right into it and have a good time.
Yeah, I played that character at a convention a couple weeks ago. It was a Rocketeer game, and I was the fresh-faced new recruit who was very desperate to prove that I was a good Rocketeer, even though, like 3 months ago, I didn't even know what a jetpack was.
Right. Yeah.
So it was about having heart and going along with it when people started throwing punches his way because he was excited and youthful and enthusiastic. And
right.
And who doesn't hate that?
Yeah, and
they're like, "Can we get a new cadet? This one sucks."
And I want to make sure I'm going to assuage any of the potential people in chat going, "Oh, am I too mean to somebody on my stream?" Or maybe like I can kind of see some of the wheels turning. But that is there are those are great moments for people who are there for that. But I think that there probably can be some folks who are like, this is fun, and don't really know where it's going, and then get that that moment of like, oh wow, this is like really starting to weigh on me. But let's put that part away because we're doing all this right. We're opening all the doors, we're talking on having all the discussions, making sure that we're course correcting as we're running or even participating, because this the funny also, it can't all be the GM.
No. Although it helps to have very thick skin as the GM if you're going to be the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yes.
Your NPCs are going to be the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And don't throw yourself into the role of the character everybody laughs at if you're not
okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Claude says I'm hearing that I should be meaner. Also, Claude, I want to say I saw you earlier in chat say I don't believe in any funny stuff or whatever. Claude, really, truly, honestly, this is you are hilarious. You're very, very funny, and you get us laughing all the time. And so I appreciate that you are in chat so that we may extract your humor and study it. I also want to ask you: would you let us know in chat? Are you running your podcast? Are you going to be talking about funny on your show? Let me know so we can put out the word, because I've forgotten what day it was. Let's see. Kate brings up this, which I think is a very good point, which is, what we're trying to say. Knowing who you can pick on and how is key, because some people have fun, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And
it's very true.
There's a difference between picking on somebody and teasing them.
Yes.
And I think that is where
Yeah.
teasing is generally okay because it's generally agreed upon as part of your dynamic in the report.
Yeah, and I think there are times too where the bit might go on a bit long or something, longer than the person is prepared, and and that's the other thing. I mean, the comedy finds itself in brevity, right?
Right, and sometimes we all know that gamers have a tendency to love their bits and can sometimes love them to death. As far as that goes, so
yes, exactly, and and Gene, absolutely, players can make jokes, and I think that they ought to. And especially if you've done a little bit of the groundwork. Um, and so, and you know, Michael, okay, brings up a really like a great rule of thumb.
Yes.
And you add then to there some protections that are the NPCs that get the brunt of most of the, you know, of the more heavier bits, if you
Yep.
will.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
got a
Indeed.
lot of fun.
my Rocketeer lost a fight with a mannequin, and that was a great joke for the whole
Yeah.
adventure we played for 4
Absolutely.
hours.
Yeah.
Well, and
Because
the
we were
great
doing
thing
a skill
about
challenge, and I failed, and I was like, "Oh, I want to jump a guard, and it's actually a mannequin on accident." Whoops!
right, I find
Man,
that
this guy can hold his breath for so long.
I do
I
love
f-
this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
oh, I was just going to say I find that RPGs are given pretty well to sort of comedy of errors type stuff. That if you set up a deliberately, comedic scenario where the characters are just going to run into ridiculous situations, that that alone can be pretty funny,
Yeah.
so far as that goes. The just again, gamers being gamers. If they are dealing with a alien gizmo where it doesn't have any instructions, or they're all written in a language nobody can understand, and the
Hmm.
and the buttons make it do weird funny things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That in of itself, just rolling randomly and saying, okay, you press the blue button, here's what happens.
I want to see that.
you know
Yeah, I want to see what those options could be. That could be actually a heck of a lot of fun.
right.
Really changing
Yeah.
the dynamic and also just the funniness of it. I want to address a couple of the concerns that folks are sharing because I share them. And Paul, I'm with you. Comedy isn't always about this person is dumb or this
Hmm.
person. It's a whole host of opportunities to laugh, and
Yep.
and that's I think an important thing. It doesn't have to be about someone who is just a dimwit.
Hmm.
Um, and
Yeah,
then
I
and
think
yeah,
it's better when they're bad at one thing, but there are other things that they're really good at. Like
you're right, right. It
there
doesn't
is
have to
that
be their
thing that
whole
they're
character.
inept at.
Yeah,
Like in
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine, the captain is bad at social interaction, but he's really good at his job, and
Hmm.
that's the bit. That's what they
And
lean
Right.
on for the joke.
even the dumb characters, they give them an opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, like the characters that are kind of built around being inept. Gene, I appreciate this too. I think that the way you treat your NPCs
Yep.
is a real tone setter,
Yep.
and and I don't think we want to mirror bullying to the degree that it
No.
becomes the vibe.
No. I
Yeah.
agree. I
And
agree.
Adrian,
But I will say that there's something to be said for the occasional just comedic bad guy, who
yes,
is sort of effective but also comically inept. You know,
right,
uh,
yeah,
in that way.
an important distinction to make.
I have had the occasion. In fact, I think every campaign gets one, whether they intend to or not.
Yeah,
Um, and
Mhm.
you'll know that character when it happens.
right. When they are
Mhm.
gifted to your party
when
as a
when when they are gifted to your group, because they will be the character that all the players will laugh at.
right. That's right.
You
Yeah,
know, and sometimes I've expected that, and sometimes I haven't, but I've always tried to roll with it. And been like,
right.
okay, this character is apparently meant to be funny. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The unexpected bartender that suddenly now has been recruited to be part of the team.
yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, you look at me.
Weirdly, Sandstone is that character for my
for your
group of
campaign,
Inhuman Guard.
I love that.
Every time she has showed up, she's been one shot by Centuria.
right? And that's a bit now.
Yes.
That's
And I got to
great.
play with that bit because Centuria, our player for Centuria, has had to step away for a couple weeks. So I had Sandstone show up, and she's like, "Where's Centuria? I got super mega uber powerful. Now I can fight her." And Centuria wasn't.
Damn.
That's perfect. I mean, what a great thread to weave through, more stories to come
Mhm.
and with still so much to be able to play with on that. That's a great bit. Adrian brings up that I really think that's the big problem with humor. Not everyone catches it
Yep.
or likes
Mhm.
it,
It's very
and
subjective.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. And so one of the things that I want to encourage people to do is not do what I do, which is really get into excruciating detail why that was funny, what I just said. And
Right.
people, that's certainly one of the big rules of funny stuff, is that if you have to really describe it or
It
explain
wasn't
it,
very funny.
it wasn't real
Yeah.
funny. And whether that was delivery or what, as somebody who has failed at funny often,
Yeah.
daily,
What
you really got to.
one key to being funny is knowing when something's not funny and moving on,
Yeah.
and not repeating the joke.
And
Right.
that really was going to be my point. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Is that
Yeah.
it's not it may not even be your job as a GM to police or present or be the only funny, but to help smooth over those moments where it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. And I agree with Alex. Just keep on going.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Nothing
Don't.
has been more humbling for me than editing the podcast and me saying a joke and it to be met with silence, and I have to edit the silence out.
Yeah, that is. And this, yeah, exactly. Doc Void mentions, this is one of the great joys
Yeah.
of this whole
Mhm.
thing that we're doing, is
Yep.
just being around a group of people who tease with love and
Mhm.
can use few words to describe very memorable moments, funny
Yeah.
or otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
that's one.
when you have a group of friends and you all know each other and you vibe together and all of that, it's
Yeah,
much easier to everybody's sense of humor and you can play around with that. I think, uh, especially from Alex's experience as a convention GM, that situational comedy works better when you're dealing with a group of unknown players,
yeah.
and introducing them to something like Harley Quinn the musical, where
Yeah.
you're going to be setting up just these ridiculous situations.
Unexpected. Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
is a
yeah.
good way to go.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I was part of the Norse Foundry Extra Life fundraiser this last Friday, and I ran Modoc Family Reunion, which has over 26 different Modocs in it because Modoc's an acronym, and I just changed the
Right.
last letter and changed what the Modoc is. Like, they found the mental organism designed only for ticketing, so he was selling tickets to the Modox's
Hmm.
the xylophone guy's concert, and they ran into the design for ushering to take them down to their seat. And I just threw in a little piece up, A Town Down, to make an Usher reference, and everybody lost their minds.
I
Did you
love
include
that.
Did you include Brodock in that adventure?
I did not. I
Oh,
included Mo Bob, who was the mental
Mm.
organism built only for bravery.
Mm.
oh,
He
Mobob.
was assembled incorrectly. That's why he's a good guy. He wasn't designed. He was built
Right.
wrong.
I see. I see.
He was built
I do.
different.
I do want to call. He's built different, right?
D-
That's the bit that keeps on giving, frankly. But Kate, brings up this, which I think is important, is you do
Yeah.
those check-ins. Okay, so
Mhm.
now let's put that. Oh, this is such great advice, Devious. I would say apply this to your everyday.
Yes.
Mhm.
Every day, you wake up in the morning, fail with flair and make it funny. Why not? Um, I mean, depending on the circumstances, like, if you get into some kind of 20-car pileup, maybe not make it that funny.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you decide, you make the choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Paul brings up a good point that, I mean,
yeah.
on the face of it, superheroes is a really absurd genre, you know,
Yes,
and you can
right.
definitely get a lot of mileage just leaning into the really absurd parts of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
I
there's
There's
agree.
there's
a
there's there's a whole comedy bit about a baby putting on a pair of glasses, and like everybody around Clark can't recognize the baby anymore.
Right. Or the endless bits about Wonder Woman and her invisible jet.
Right.
Just such a weird, just a woman flying through the sky
Right.
and the jet. Yeah. Oh, you were gonna say something, friend?
um, one sentence that I hold in my comedy back pocket is, by the power of comic book convenience, this happens.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Actually, okay. So, Claude, I called it that.
Failing fun
Failing.
word.
It
Yeah.
was the title of one of our programs. It's failing fun word.
Yep.
I'm glad that you recall it.
Yep. And
And
honestly, that's a great example of getting the players to embrace failure in general,
yeah,
because that's actually, as we've talked about before, a big element of the superhero genre is that failure isn't final.
Right.
that it usually is a lead in to something else. And even in the very serious adventures, failure tends to just be the heroes getting into another interesting challenge or situation, rather than it just being the end of them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing as well is the thing to remember is this is an opportunity to, being in a TTRPG moment is an opportunity to suspend the rules and the things that you have to suffer on the day to day.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, some of there needs to be a little bit of that friction and a little bit of that failure and a little bit of those pieces because that's the story, right? Otherwise, we're all
Right.
just hanging out to having a party, which is super fun, but maybe not the best story to tell. Yeah, so yeah, that's great. This is really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see some folks here saying one of I'm always been a fan of She-Hulk stuff regardless. I love
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is
And
great. When She-Hulk, a character wondered how her costume hadn't been ruined despite the big fight, and She-Hulk pulled out a tag that read Comics Code Authority.
yep. And
Classic.
She-Hulk and Deadpool and other fourth wall breaking characters are great options for tabletop stuff because it's all
Mhm.
very meta self-aware things
Yeah.
that again gamers are very aware of because they know they're playing a superhero game. And you can even get into the sort of meta awareness of, are their characters aware they're characters in a tabletop game? Are they aware of dice rolls and all of the game mechanics around their actions and whatnot?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Raven, why did you do that? Well, because I know I get a bonus for that.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah. That's that
Trying
breaking the
trying to
fourth.
milk a hero point off the GM.
right? Exactly. I'm trying to get a hero point out of this. I need some
Right.
pathos.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Super funny, especially, and I think too that the advent of streaming for an audience, when you're doing it, it's you've got the GM has the audience of the table, and then they've got the extended audience that then also includes the players as well. It's a lot of really great opportunities to yuck it up,
Hmm.
maybe break that fourth wall, and so is there any other things to be concerned about as it relates to that fourth wall, sort of playing around in that space? Is it feels like at one point in time the world was very defensive of that,
Mhm.
keeping the integrity of that space, but it feels like it's not so much anymore.
I
Is that
think I think more than most running gags, that's the one that you have to use the most moderation for
okay?
Hmm. Yeah.
because it can very quickly take everybody out of the game, like out of the story, and into trying to
Right.
one up each other with the best reference they can make to what my character knows
Yeah.
about the game we're playing.
So it can
Yeah.
erode sort of the structure and the actual campaign itself because it's just
Yeah,
suddenly now we're just freewheeling and doing
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly that.
only one character can do it, and then it becomes that character trying to think of the funniest thing they can say instead of like being engaged with what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
And
that also becomes a little tiresome.
yes, it does. I
Mhm.
was just gonna say, I love Deadpool. I love the character. I mean, clearly, Ryan Reynolds was born to play that character. That character. I mean, it was
Hmm.
just a kismet. But it gets exhausting after a while. You're just
I
like,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Dose Pool.
what did you say, Dose Pool?
Yeah, I like Dose Pool. It's like Deadpool but a small dose.
Right.
I like that. A dollop pool. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Just a
Yes,
bit.
Micro Deadpool.
That's right.
the dollop of Wilson.
I love it. Let's
Yeah.
see.
I will mention Gene's idea of mind swaps can be super funny if
Oh
you do it
yeah.
right, especially if the players are good at playing each other's characters,
Mhm.
Sure.
and pretending to be each other. That can actually be hilarious if it's
Such
done
a
well.
great, yeah, and as evidenced by like, I mean, movies that have been remade, of course, but Parent Trap or not Parent
Yeah,
Trap,
yeah, Freaky Friday and
Freaky
all that sort of
Friday,
thing.
or all of those sort of we switched roles kinds of stuff. Very very funny. Jimmy Olsen comics from the '60s are a great example. It's basically an Archie style teen sitcom set in the world of fifth dimensional imps.
Yep,
Right,
pretty
Paul, that's so
much.
great. Yeah, talking about the absurdity of some things where something has become normal is a really fun juxtaposition to kind of play around with.
Mhm.
Let's see what else do we got here. SC Marine says this. Do you agree?
Yeah, if they're wacky, if they're toony, if
Yeah,
they're all a
I
little
mean,
loony.
potentially,
Yeah.
you know. I think that again, it's falling back on things not being quite so dangerous,
Yeah.
and so you can definitely fall back on more comedic themed villains. Certainly,
Hmm.
you probably don't
Yeah.
want the guy with all the spikes and the blades and the high caliber weaponry for your comedy episode, unless you're going to particularly make fun of that
So
subgenre.
does this make
Yeah,
sense to you? The question from David. Sorry, go ahead, please. And then we'll continue.
just on that topic of a ridiculous character, I find they work best when they play themselves completely straight. Like Condom King is the best for me when he's like,
Yep.
"I'm the best supervillain of all time."
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
it's not ridiculous. I throw
I'm
mayonnaise at
I'm the
you.
best at what I do.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, so how do you contrast this with Mad Mod, etc. type characters?
Well, it's exactly what Alex was saying. Characters
Okay.
like the Mad Mod are played completely straight.
Yes.
They're
Okay.
ridiculous, but they're also that's what they do. That's their
Yeah.
thing. It's the same as taking a character like the Joker, who
Mhm.
can be terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played very straight as far as that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Joker's really a great sort of test bed when you're thinking about really playing every aspect, like a little bit of Deadpool, a little bit of slapstick,
Yeah.
a little bit of a tight five, the whole thing, really. But this is
Yeah,
important, I think. Professor Purge of the
Hmm.
Purge high school or
hmm
college rather. I think yeah. So I think one key to running a successful humor oriented adventure is to not be too heavy handed in the humor. Creating
Yeah.
characters that are blatantly ridiculous can feel ridiculous. I said can feel forced, and I think
ridiculous.
too know your boundaries as a not necessarily boundaries but comfort level really I think is what it boils down to. But if
Hmm.
it's hard for you to keep this voice up for the whole thing, don't have that character that does that
Right.
because
Yeah.
it just will wear you down.
Yeah, I
um
think if you're not going to play something completely straight, one other thing you can do is play with all the heart. Like,
Hmm.
um, I'm thinking of Kite Man, who is
Right.
just so
yeah.
confident
Who's
in his
who's just
idiocy.
an adorable loser, basically.
Is he about
Hmm.
kites? Is that the story?
Yes, that's his
Yeah,
thing.
Okay, well, good for him.
His thing
Sort of
is kites.
his buddy
yeah.
Yo-Yo Man.
You know, I mean,
uh,
yeah, you could also do
Just
characters into yo-yos. Yeah, I mean, there's Captain Boomerang, like Stan says. I mean, so it really can't get any more ridiculous.
and
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
Captain Boomerang is actually scary.
I was gonna say, there's another character who is also like in the hard-bitten Suicide Squad. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. You bring this up. That Doc Void mentions there was a period when I was younger where I didn't
hmm
appreciate characters like Impossible Man, Ambush Bug, and
yep,
I'm with you there. I hated like DC would they would have ballpoint pen man or something, and I was just like, "Bleh," and
right,
but as I've gotten older, I can't appreciate those moments of silliness. And
yeah,
I think maybe it's because, as you are older, you've experienced all that other stuff and you'd like to have more fun. And when you're younger,
right,
it's all very
right,
serious. It's all very intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see.
Well, and I think that ties into an idea that comedy is not talking down to your players. I
right,
think that's
Oh
where
yeah.
the discrepancy is those characters who are ridiculous like that feel like they're immature and they feel like they're trying to reduce the audience rather than being clever.
Yeah, that's a very interesting observation that yeah, and I think that it's
hmm
not if the one note shouldn't just be, oh look, another pratfall,
right,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Temple brings up One Punch Man, who I'm not familiar with. I have zero clue what I hear a lot about One Punch Man. Is it an anime?
yeah,
Okay.
Yep. He's
Yeah.
an egg who punches people.
pretty
With
much.
one punch, I'm imagining.
Yep, only
And
takes
then
one.
yeah, just takes the one. And then the eponymous Saitama, who is basically bored after one punching every monster.
Hmm.
And yeah, oh yeah, that's funny.
Yep.
I've about punched everyone. What do I do now? Um, good. Nothing better. Sometimes the showrunner chat is some of the best chat that
Hmm.
that should never be released to the
Yeah.
world. Um, Crazy Quilt.
Yep.
He's got a quilt and he's crazy.
Yep.
And he's
Pretty.
gonna
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much any supervillain based on random colors seems to be particularly slapstick.
Yeah, I'm with you, Claude. I think that the serial killer Joker, that sort of, we're not
Mhm.
in on the joke,
Yeah,
is not maybe my favorite. I don't know
I
who
hear
Dr.
you.
Detroit is. Is that somebody who's funny?
Doctor Detroit is kind of funny.
Okay, kind of. All right,
It's
all
a
right.
Dan
Mhm.
Aykroyd movie.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah, yeah. Dan Aykroyd. No, that's not a taste I
yeah.
acquired. I'm
But
not.
King Snarf brings up the classic Adam West Batman, which is campy
Yes.
rather than specifically funny, which is a different thing to discuss. But I think taking really campy ideas like Batman, like that Batman series,
Yeah.
and dropping them into your comedy adventure is a great way
Hmm.
to just bring some absurdity to
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah,
know,
I built a Suicide Squad of Adam West Batman villains and made them protect the Beatles while they were touring in the USSR.
Beautiful, love
right?
it. And and I think shows like MASH, there it is a really great way to
Yep.
show some real
Yep.
comedy on the edge of real tragedy. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mash has a lot of sort of gallows humor to it, but
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I think you might be onto something here. Where you kind of think the Adam West Batman when you're young, the Adam West Batman's hilarious, and then when you're a teen, you're like, "That's stupid, I hate it," and then when you're adult, you're like, "I love that again." Yeah, that's great. Oh, SC Terran Marine sharing the yes, yes. The llama that wasn't there to begin with is eating
mhm,
it. Yeah. Which could be a running gag. Everywhere you
right,
go, suddenly the llama's there eating the ransom note,
right.
uh, points to post about gargoyles episode. Um, which gargoyle episode post are you talking about? I will keep my eye open for it, but I have not seen it.
Hmm.
Oh, maybe hold
Uh,
on. Let me see. Is it here? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go.
1847-37.
Gargoyles had the episode where the guy who lost multiple jobs due to the gargoyles, yeah, hunted down for
Mhm.
life. And a cannon
Sure.
shot him with a giant cream pie. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is more of a serious, brooding kind of thing. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I think that is the best thing. What does Barnacle Boy
Right.
do?
Sticks to things.
Yeah.
That is hilarious and so dumb and great.
Mhm.
Let's see, what else do we got? So,
Right.
we were about 10 minutes before the end of the program. I know we started a little bit late, so there might be a bonus minute or two.
Right.
But let's take a minute to. I mean, we mentioned some of those heroes that incite laughter or that influence the mood. To be a little more jokey or fun or whatever their brand of humor is.
Mhm.
What are your favorites?
I think the ultimate RPG pratfall is one-shotting the bad guy at the end.
Mm. It's up there.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
That's
I mean, sure, sure. So,
everybody likes when that happens.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
Some
I think
GMs don't like it.
I think right up there along with that is the bad guy critical fail.
Hmm.
You know,
sure.
especially when you get your players in on it, and you're just like, okay, so the bad guy has rolled a one. What would you like to have happen here?
That is great.
You
That's
know, and
great.
and they
Yeah.
will come up with far more cruel and hilarious things than you as the GM probably will. So
Kate, I did not watch SpongeBob. I just, I'm far too serious for that kind of nonsense.
it's true.
I mean, frankly, I was always working, and
Troy was too
so
old.
that was too old, honestly. But no, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Manta Ray, and the Dirty Bubble. Nothing. I'm hoping I'm not being offensive in any way, but one of the I was thinking of something. It reminded me, Alex, one of the first. I want to say that it was one of the first community. Gosh, you ran. Oh, no, no, no! It was one of the first games you ran for Green Ronin.
Hmm.
It was a M&M game, and there was a bad guy who had a staff or something that he was using, and it knocked out of his hand, or as a weapon of some kind. And I said, "Can I use it?" Because I had some kind of something. And you're like, "I don't." Oh yeah, no, I guess you can. And I used it, and I killed
Sure.
him. Like, yeah, his own weapon. And you were like, "Okay, okay, well."
So that happened.
It was wonderful though, the way that you rolled with that.
It might have been the same episode with the singing robot pirates.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. Honestly, Kate, I can't. Kate has
Right.
got my number. Has cracked the code. I am very deeply unserious. Oh, this is good stuff too. Yeah. The running bit of
Mhm.
the thing that
Yeah.
people hate.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Let
there's a running bit for my GMing where many moons ago I described a sound as the sound of syrup running over sandpaper. Because sometimes when you're flavor texting, you just say things. You're not
Sure.
in control of that. Your
Sure.
body just spits out dumb
Word.
words.
Right. Words just come out.
That's right. That's right. I will
And I
agree
have
with you.
not been able to escape that for the last decade.
Love is in the Arrow was very funny. That's
Well, right. How could it not be?
yeah. Was that like a 14 shot? I can't remember.
No, it was a two shot. It
It was a 2-shot. Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So
it
it was a
was
two shot. It was a
reasonable.
it was a 2-shot, 1-shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Another bit, another running gag.
Yes.
Yeah, right, Paul. SpongeBob isn't even in my neighborhood. SpongeBob doesn't even go here.
Right.
But
Exactly. They're nowhere near each other, and you
nowhere
never see
near.
them in the same room together.
No, you don't. Oh well, yeah, that is true. That is true. I put on my sponge, and everyone just forgets about me. They're like, I don't recognize you. You smell like Troy, but you look like SpongeBob. Let's see. Okay, we talked about the llama who eats the papers. Super serious
Mhm.
breeding superhero with powers to generate and manipulate shadows who has a weakness to children's nightlights.
Yep. Yep.
Wow, what a twist.
Well,
I like it.
there's an example of the classic character who becomes the comedic character
Yeah.
as far as that goes. They
You
start
know, I
out as the super serious, dark shadow wielder, and then
yeah. I,
like one nightlight incident, and their reputation is ruined.
it's just shot. I could just see also sort of the super heavy video intro of this character who you see that there's a in a kid's room in the shadows on the wall and it's creepy whenever and the kid just goes click and it's like
Yep.
this little guy like
Ah!
shoot.
My only weakness.
My sole weakness.
Yeah, exactly. Just super funny. I could see that
Also,
for sure.
Paul, thank you for saying the things that I wanted to say but didn't think I could.
A running
That's
gag.
what Paul is here for.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Right. Let's see. Another great gag. The JLU episode.
Yes, where everybody's
Where everyone
calling
can call
Booster Gold Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we embrace funny. We love it. I know, Paul, that was great. It was very, very funny. I'm going to opt not to. I mean, I don't know. It's not really that bad, but, if you sit and think about it for a while.
It was bad enough I didn't say it out loud.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
This is a
That
family
was the
show.
first
After all.
thing I thought.
Wait, what is this, Professor? Huh? Is that a person?
Hmm.
Is there a
I
Professor?
haven't seen Be Cool Scooby Doo. I've seen Mr.
Yeah.
Incorporated.
That is so great. Professor Who? You do, Paul. You do.
You do.
Yeah.
But hilariously, at least.
Yeah, a subtle evil, but it leaves a mark.
David Bullock, those are the same superhero, just at different points in the timeline.
Yeah. Possibly different points in the same adventure.
The retching speedster. Oh, yeah. That would be awful if you ran so fast you got motion sick
Right.
and you just vomit all the time. High speed vomiting.
Hey, look, we have a villain who does that, and I hate him.
Right.
I hate him too. Who is that? Is
Chimera.
It's Chimera,
that's
the
right.
villain who can vomit anything.
Yes. Gosh, that's right. Who did
I
we
hate
have?
that man.
Chimera. Where was Chimera? Why do I know this?
He was a 3E conversion from
He's a crooks
early
character.
in my career. Yeah.
Yes. Very low point in Alex's development.
Not good. And I'm the one that's grossed out by Mama Kiger.
Mhm.
Yeah,
her
I like
minions
Mama
And,
Kiger.
and her Blister Sisters.
Oh, Blister Sisters. My gosh.
What a great band name.
Listen, I'm going to say this. Many times people, you don't understand. You can tend to paint evil because you're scared of it. But I will say that Gravy Squatch has never done anything evil that we're aware of.
Right. It's certainly nothing that can be proven in a court of law.
Exactly, because you were asleep and that's how they found you.
I think leaving gravy in people's shoes counts. I feel like that.
As a gift, it counts as a generous offering to you for being a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say, and it's still warm. That's the beauty of it. How does that?
Always, too, no matter how long.
No matter how long it sits out,
That's
how
the
does that
miracle of
happen?
it.
That's love. That's
Troy, I
love.
need you to know if I wake up with gravy on my feet at Gen Con, I will fight everyone at the hotel.
You're not dissuading him. Don't threaten him with a good time.
No, yeah, you've really just sort of upped the ante for me. Like now it's I gotta do it. No, I wouldn't do it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. It would be done by Gravy Squatch because he knows where you are.
Yep.
He sees you when you're
SC
sleeping.
Terra Marine, there actually is a character like that, a superhero who basically is a clown with clown gadgets and all of that, who uses them to fight crime. He's called Jack in the Box from Astro City.
Okay, and so he's got clown themed
Yep.
stuff. Yeah. Hey, are any mime based characters villains in our world?
I created a villain called Enemy Mime, who's who can make invisible objects.
That's a very good power.
Yeah.
That is such a great. I love that. See, again, that's sort of a subtle, like enemy mime is hilarious. Okay, listen. We've been doing this for a hot minute. We're nearing the end of this part of the program, but we're going to move into what's in the tank here with our buddy Devious, and we're going to get into that. But first, Steve Kenson, what's happening in this Steve Kenson cinematic universe?
Well, gosh, I am working on the next M&M mix-up for our folks over at the Cape and Cowl Club. And I do believe of interest to our friend Paul particularly that it looks like Sydney, Australia is very much in the lead as far as the setting for said mix-up. And so that will involve my doing a little reading in addition to consulting the Atlas of Earth Prime, which I just randomly flipped to, get me that to begin with.
Nice.
And I am hard at work on our playtest group, also in Cape and Cowl Club. And I have got some, hopefully some stuff coming from Alex to go over for our forthcoming projects soon.
Nice.
I know Alex has got all the good news because my stuff is all like way out there.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so Alex, what do you got cooking?
Unfortunately, all my stuff is right here.
It's right here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, much to the delight of everyone, the book that shall not be named. I'm almost done with the art order, so we will be able to do the art and get it into the final steps of layout, so we can get it out to you guys.
It's laid out. I've actually seen it.
Yeah, it is laid out. It's just there's a lot of blue boxes.
There's a lot of art goes here kind of notes and whatnot.
I wonder. Okay, I'm going to speak. So here's everybody knows. Like we like to travel the world of possibilities, but knowing that this is something that has been anticipated for some time, I wonder what happens if we let people get a little glimpse of the process as it goes through and what it looked like, kind of going into here and kind of. I mean, what do we think about that?
Oh, Alex is frozen by that very notion.
I think I've stunned him to death.
I do. I think you've stunned him right off the internet.
Such a good idea. That's right. He's like, I'm done. Internet out. Yeah.
Either that or he is holding very, very still.
That would be hilarious. I wish that were. I honestly now I want to wait and see if that is.
Go ahead. Troy is based on motion.
That's right.
If I just don't move.
Yeah, I can pretend I never heard.
I can pretend I never heard that idea.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. So to help with a little bit of this, Kate the Great is talking about this Saturday. He is going to be. It's a two-parter. Okay, let's see here.
Saturday and then the following Saturday.
That's right. So 2 Saturdays, Saturday and Saturday, and I heard the telltale. No, was it a blue screen, buddy?
Yeah, blue screen. But it lasted most of the episode, so I guess that's
It did,
fine.
yeah.
Was a
Well,
trooper.
VCRs these days, you got to pull the thing out,
Yeah.
you got to blow on it,
Right.
you got to untangle the tape, all that good stuff. But hey, talk about Kate the Great mentions you're going to be doing some the next 2 Saturdays.
Yeah, I'll be running a famous Alex one shot for 2 weekends.
For 2 weeks.
The
Like you do.
signature move.
Yeah, we'll be headed over there for superhero shenanigans, and they'll be facing off against a nefarious villain that Steve fought recently. That I'm excited to see make a stream appearance.
Ooh, fun.
Entropy?
No, he's a little disc and he's got a knife on his head and he's the best.
Ennui?
Uh-oh.
Depression? No, I'm kidding.
They're in trouble.
I love this.
trouble.
It's called The Big Scrap?
Yes, it's called The Big Scrap.
Yep.
I like that.
There's so in Freedom City, there are these things called scrap bots, which are similar but legally distinct to battle bots. And there's a big convention called the Big Scrap in town.
Yes,
I know. Participate.
Yeah,
there is a lack of good sportsmanship. Let me tell you,
it truly is. That is exactly right.
It's a cutthroat competition.
It is, sometimes literally.
Well, looks like you got a handle. I'm not a handle. You have a perhaps a name. You got to prove his handle on the promo. Okay, gotcha.
I'll figure out how to do that. Is that on my Discord?
Fantastic. All right. Well, gents, I believe that we have reclaimed most of our time back from the from the clutches of Adobe, the biggest villain in my life, and the Revenge of Doomba.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Anything else for the good of the order before we say to you, thank you for joining us and on with the week. Nothing for the good.
Nothing for the good of the order.
Nope.
Be cool,
gents. Thank you so much for hanging out, chat. Thank you, and make sure you make sure you shank these two a couple times for being so selfless and spending Mondays hanging out and being pals with us.
Please don't shank me if you meet me in public.
No,
I am.
No. And ask before you hug. Who knows, right?
My only weakness is tiny knives.
Right, tiny, pointy knives, right? Yeah, exactly. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for making the show so funny. It happened. It worked.
Right?
I like it. See, if you're funny enough, you just might get what you want or something like that. Anyway, all right. Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to turn it over. We'll be doing what's in the tank here. Hey, real quick, Alex, check in with you. We're on for tomorrow.
I was gonna say that, but then my computer said "F you, dude."
F you, dude. Right. Yeah. So we're doing. I've got this is April. That says Sundays. That's a lie, isn't it?
That is a lie. It's on
Tuesdays. Just a blatant lie, but it'll be tomorrow, and we'll be is it at the normal time? Is it 2 p.m.?
I just had to double check and make sure that that's not the same time as my session 0.
Oh, there's my oil painting I did for you. Nice, lovely.
It's going to be at 4 p.m. EST, not
4 p.m. EST. Thank you. Okay. So 4 p.m. EST?
Yep.
So 1 p.m.
Pacific.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there you go, friends. You heard it here first. Thank you, guys, very, very much. I will let you go, and we are going to shift gears to what's in the tank. Stay tuned.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Guys. Don't you go anywhere, chat, because we're talking about what's going on. There we go. So at 1 tomorrow Pacific, you can hang out with Alex for the wonderful program called Joy of Game Mastering. It's fun. We love it. What else we got cooking? Office hours this week, Wednesdays, every Wednesday, nearly every Wednesday. We'll be hanging out with me, and we're going to sit down and talk. Basically, in the Atomic Think Tank, we have a chat about, really anything. Honestly, it goes everywhere, and it's a lot of fun. What have I got here? Nothing do. It's time for What's in the Tank. And this is an opportunity for us to hang out with our good friend, Devious. Now, before I turn your camera on, I'm just going to turn off real quick because I want to show this. We have something very special. It's a new logo. Do you see that Green Ronin Publishing logo? That beautiful logo, all brand new. It's very special. Of course, I also did some fun animating of this segment of the show, and that's when I say, "Hey, Devious, how are you, buddy?"
Hi, how's it going?
It's going okay. It's going. It's going phenomenally. I say okay, but I mean it's going really, really awesome.
Groovy.
I'm excited. Also, I wonder if it's us or if it's you. You were a little quiet.
Uh-oh. Is this better?
It's maybe you sound maybe far away.
Oh, no,
all
right.
I hear you now.
Okay, groovy. All right.
It could just be me. But yeah,
or
some folks.
I could have been attacked by a mime at that very moment.
Yeah, right. Enemy mime.
Exactly. That's quality right there.
Slaying me. Thanks, Nate. Nate says it's potty time.
Woot.
That's how you know when Devious comes on.
That Nate likes to potty all the time.
Right. I like how the green Ronin is right there, kind of poking out there at the top of your brain.
Right.
Hi,
Kate. It says hi.
It's me. Yeah. So, oh yeah, you're saying hi to Kate. I know. All right. Is Kate just the best, and all associated pals, frankly.
What the Grant?
All very impressive crew.
Grant, who has ever called Devious quiet? What are you trying to say, Grant?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
What he's trying to say, if you'd stop interrupting, is no, I'm just kidding. You know what, my friend? That's why we love you, because you always have, and it's not like you're just interrupting to interrupt. You got good news. You've got things to share. You've got worlds that have been created, and you're just here as a sort of a doorman to possibility.
That's right. I am the doorman to possibility.
Or the dorkman.
Or the dorkman. Yeah. Or I think of me as your sommelier.
Ooh, yes, I like that. I do indeed. A fine vintage.
Articles and stat blocks, yes.
Yeah. So, well, real quick, let's do this. The Atomic Think Tank at atomicthinktank.com is a community hub. It's a place for you to hang out, have some fun, meet people who are playing age games, meet people who are playing Mutants and Masterminds, meet people who have just created. You got stat blocks coming out of the stat block hole. I know it. I've seen them. I know. You can't hide them. Bring them to the tank, and you share that information and articles on best practices, advice, finding people who want to play, all manner of good, fun stuff. You don't want to sniff this cork, David. Maybe that little. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a potent brew, right?
Right. Well, actually, thankfully to this new technology that I've developed with Microsoft and also Chuck E. Cheese, the screen, if you'd like now, is scratch and sniff. So if you want to scratch your screen, lean forward and just take a big whiff.
Oh, and that technology works with, so it's backwards compatible.
Exactly. So
nice.
It's all good. So in case you want to go back and look at previous Mumamos, you can do so. Scratch the screen; it'll be there for you.
Some hidden gems. Hidden gems.
Right, exactly.
Fragrant is the least descriptive word that I could use to describe some of our past episodes.
Exactly.
Hey, I don't want to. Let me do something here. I want to. Can I? No, I don't think I can.
You can do it.
I want to. Hey, turn your camera off for a minute. Do you leave your mic on? Turn your camera off.
How do I turn my camera off?
Down at the bottom there, on the restream side, there's a little camera. I want to take more glimpse at the new Green Ronin logo. So we're going to talk a lot more about this week. I'm sharing this with everybody. Consider it kind of a debut. Smells like a ball pit. Yuck. It's not lick and sniff. That's not appropriate, David. But the logo comes in many great shapes and sizes. I love it because I will tell you, I love the old logo as well. Very it's evocative of a time before they required everybody to have a logo that fit into a 1x1 square. And the pantalones of the and the
Pantalones.
yes, yeah, they were voluminous. They are voluminous.
You could stick a cheese wheel down in there and never know.
A few, actually, honestly. I mean, there you could fit furniture.
Two or three in each thigh at minimum.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there is sort of the new face of Green Ronin, of the Green Ronin, and I will say, not gone, not forgotten, but on retirement. This guy has been working since the 90s, or something, but a long, long, long time. The Green Ronin is older than the internet.
Now he gets to rest on his pantalones.
That's right. I was doing a little Google Translate because I was kind of writing up something for the team because the other thing we need to do is go scour the internet and replace all the logos with the new one, which is fun, but that's a lot. I mean, we've got 25 years of stuff that we need to look at and scrub, and add the logo to. But the Google translated into Japanese, beautiful language. It said something to the effect of "Rest easy, our beloved Green Ronin, as you float away on a sparkly cloud of pantaloons."
Yes.
Yeah. So, like I said, not gone, not forgotten, but just taking a breather while we roll out this new logo, which I think is quite sharp. I'm very happy with it. And not just because it'll fit on everything that we need, because it comes in lots of greats. What's in the tank logo is sort of giving me the spins. But
it's like the end of Babe. It's like looking at the little guy and going, "That'll do, pig. That'll do.
That'll do, pig." Yeah, exactly. That'll do, Ronin. That'll do.
Ronin. Exactly.
Hey, so now let's get into it. What's in the tank, my friend?
What is in the tank? Oh, it's been actually 2 weeks since we've done one because we were off last week, and so I wanted to go ahead and let everybody know there's a lot in the tank right now that you may not have seen. Chris Davies did a little informational thing on SensoryLink for his summoned minions, and basically he was putting it forth that he has changed his mind on a previous stance he had about the matter, which is fantastic. I mean, it takes a big person to admit, I may have been wrong about that. Here's why I rethought that, and that's perfect. I think it's a beautiful thing. I've done an article on plot twists, the artful twist, and when not to do it. Don't overuse it. Your character, you've established trust with the players. Don't screw that up.
Yeah.
But basically how to talk with them about whether or not they want to bring that in. The Liberation Initiative by Tulio Cesar, one of those. I've also remastered a couple of articles. I did the Increasing Lethality in Mutants Masterminds and Knockback. I basically looked through them and retold them just a little bit. I'm also going to be putting out one on lethal damage shortly.
Okay.
I've done one on creating a safe environment for role play in Mutants and Masterminds.
Oh, I like that.
One of the things that I hate is when somebody is trying to role play and a player mocks them. Doesn't mock them as a character, but mocks them as a player. That's a strict no in my book. Somebody is trying somebody is trying to embrace the role playing, get into character and have fun with it. And you're gonna poo-poo on that? Don't poo-poo on that.
Yeah.
Celebrate it. Raise them up.
So, but you can do too. You can have a joyful mirth about the person, what they're doing, but encouraging them.
Yeah.
I mean, and frankly, listen, new role players, I get it. It's tough, and it can feel like you're putting yourself out there, and you are. But sometimes you're not good, and you gotta roll with that and have fun, and and really kind of get into it. Also, it's about timing, right? Like if someone's trying to do a soliloquy on the nature of their trauma, well, maybe don't, even though it can be difficult sometimes, right?
Yeah. But basically, it's just you don't get good unless you keep doing something.
That's right.
The only failure is quitting. So keep going at it, keep doing it, and help.
Unless you're playing the hero quit man.
Yes, Quitman does not get to. So
he does not get to continue.
Exactly. The next article is on crafting dynamic skill challenges for mutants and masterminds, going through basically the structure of them and different types of structures and how to craft them and what can raise tension, raise the stakes, things like that. Context and engagement in mutants and masterminds, building superhero stories that matter to the players. There's an Ask Devious I did on alternate effect limit points, how those work in an array. Also, the power of a word using container words. That's another one of my Grand Theft articles. And also, finally, Skill Spotlight tool proficiency I've got in there as well. In the Aegis files, well, we've got a number of entries you can see in the Super Soldier Mumemo Challenge, and we'll be getting to that shortly. We've also got just a wonderful series that Chris Davies has done where he's taken those archetype pictures and getting those all together and coming up with whole new characters behind them. I love it. More power to you, Chris Davies. Thank you for doing that. And he's kind of done all of them that there are right now. So fantastic. Great group of stuff.
What a great resource.
Absolutely. And we also have Giggle Hop from Steinbrewer.
Giggle Hop.
You'll just have to go look at that.
Okay.
I have no words.
I can't wait to give that a click.
I have no words. Okay.
Wow. You better get in there, friends.
No words. But of course, we have Mumemo today.
Yeah,
Wednesday,
that's right
the 16th.
That's me.
Darn it. I should have put Joy of Game Mastering in here in between.
Yeah, in betwixt. We'll fix that.
Wednesday, again, we've got the double header. We've got Get Tank with Troy, The Office Hours. We also have Superhero Shenanigans issue 8 on Don't Kill My Character.
Now, wait a minute. Do we both start at the same time?
Basically, they start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You kind of start your thing a little bit earlier, but it's about.
I start at 4. Yeah.
But no, that's actually the same time.
It's the same time. Yeah.
Is 7 p.m.
What we will do? I'm going to easy to move for my time, and folks will line up when they'll join when they can. So I'm gonna move because I want to. I don't want the conflict. I mean, honestly, there have been many a time where we spend office hours just watching this, the live stream.
That's what we did last time.
Basically,
we're like, let's clue in here and make commentary all the way through and talk in their chat. That was fun.
So I don't want to conflict with Alex's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thursday we have Claude now. Claude moved his to Thursday, so not to conflict with Alex's Joy of Game Mastering.
Yeah. So let me noodle on this. Well, here's what I will do. We will convene the group this Wednesday. We will all sit and talk, and we will look at, as we're watching the live stream, we will talk about days that work. But it might even be just a matter of doing it earlier.
Right.
And ending on being able to roll out and do, and join up and watch and have fun. So, we'll figure it out, but maybe I'll even figure it out before this Wednesday, and we'll make a bunch of noise about folks coming and joining us and then leading up to the stream. So we'll figure all that stuff out. So stay tuned. Thank you for bringing that up. That was something I've been noodling on and wanted to.
Because we want to definitely support DKMC. We love those folks.
They're awesome do indeed. I mean, we definitely love everybody who's out there streaming faux show, but there is something very special about the Don't Kill My Character kids.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, of course, with the Cape and Cow Club, wonderful things in there. Play testing, the new 100-page document on Gravy and the Gravy powers and the power profiles, and of course there is the gadget guides with the write-up on Spravey. That is coming out.
That's right.
So, and also, of course, the Pinewood Project. We've still got plenty of space for those in the Cape Cow Club to come in and contribute. Ask Troy about that. Send him a DM. On the articles, basically, I featured the two that are by Julio Cesar.
Nice,
One,
Julio.
the Liberation Initiative, and he also did Earth 2, The Miracle of Freedom. In the Liberation Initiative, basically post the catastrophic war on heaven on his Earth beta, it details humanity's bold push towards recovery and protection through a globe-spanning force for peace and justice. And I think he said that he liked my write-up that I gave. So yay.
Nice.
And Earth 2, Miracles of Freedom, thrilling alternate, basically a Silver Age kind of comics inspired world. Definitely both worth a read. I hope you go check those out.
Yeah.
For the Super Soldier entries, we've got a number of them.
Nice.
Lone Wolf by Big Nate, The
Big
Armstronger
Nate.
by Julio Cesar.
Okay.
We have the Lieutenant Light by Matt Mabray.
Okay.
Just a number of winners, and I think
is it sort of the lieutenant, is that sort of the LaCroix of lieutenants, or
it could be, or if you're English, the lieutenant.
Oh,
as opposed to the right tenant. I don't know.
Okay,
Anyway,
or the David Tennant.
Guess what? It's time. It is time to disclose the winner.
Who is it? Who is it?
The Super Soldier.
I demand.
Challenge.
I demand.
It is none other than
Nice.
Brenton Hudson.
Okay.
We're still here.
Now, are we right? Is that who we think Brenton Hudson is?
Is that S.C. Terra Marine?
Is that S.C. Terra Marine? Is that you? S.C. Terra Marine, is that you?
Say something. Speak to me.
Listen, S.C. Terra Marine, what you win is whatever you want out of the store. One thing, okay? Just one thing. Even if that one thing is a thing of a bundle of a thing. Nice. Congratulations. It is you. Yay! That's fantastic. You are, the winner is you. And all you got to do is send me a note on the think tank. And, well, here, it may not be all you have to do. You might have to send me a note and then remind me. I try to get that done real quick. But, yeah, all you got to do is let me know. Take a little shopping spree. And congratulations and thank you so much.
Yay.
Yeah. Very cool.
So we have our winner. We have the contest is over at the moment. We will have some contests in the future. Right now, we're kind of putting a pause on that at the moment, but we will have them in the near future.
Well, yeah, it was hard to decide what would the comedy contest be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could do a funny character,
vaguely insufferable.
I'm not sure I could stand the puns involved.
Right? Yeah, they're killing me softly. Right? There
you go.
Hey, I've got something.
What you got?
I have. Okay, I'm gonna not say the 40 things that ran through my mind. Our store folks are quick. The webmaster is fast. Hang on one second. I'm showing this screen, and there it is. Look at this. You see the new logo here. Beautiful, beautiful. But the thing I want to talk about is Astonishing Adventures April. There's the Adventure Awaits bundle. There's the Level Up bundle. And there's the Arcane Adventures bundle. You click on that, and it takes you here to this bundle of joy. It is for, let's go to the Arcane Adventures bundle. You get Netherwar Series Guide, Master of Earth, Assault on the Narian Nexus, Pentagram Peril, Broken Strings, Bound by Gold, 3 Made 1. That's the PDF bundle, and it is $26.95.
Such a deal.
25% off. You know why? Because it's our 25th anniversary. Get it?
Boom.
Do you get it now?
I get it.
Yes. Level Up bundle. The Level Up bundle has Astonishing Adventures Assembled, the book, the print book, Astonishing Adventures Assembled PDF, the Heist PDF, Nothing to Fear PDF, Menace on Mystery Mountain PDF, Terror from the Skies, one adventure written by an Apuk we know, an Apuk we have in common, and Prodigal Son. And all of that, $60. Normally $81.40, including you get the book in there too. So there's that. And then the last bundle, we're just bundle bandits, as they say, as we are known. The Adventure Awaits bundle.
Yup.
It's a big bundle.
It's a big one.
That's a good one, and it is basically where's the list? I can't do this just off the cuff. It's the Basic Heroes Handbook, Adventures Assembled, PDF and print, and it is $75. That is real big deal. And you will find all of that in the Green Ronin online store, greenroninstore.com. You can head on over there, click through. You will find all kinds of good stuff because adventure does await.
Absolutely,
But it doesn't await for long because the sale will be over soon. So nice little segue, don't you think?
I think.
Yeah. So get in there and go buy some stuff. You know what? Buy something for your mother. Say, Mom, I need you to have more adventure in your life, and send her all of this and see what she has to say. I'm imagining she would be very happy to have been released from, all of the tedium of the day, and now
Or you can always Grandma, I know you got a lot of time now in the old folks' home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of seniors sitting around,
Honestly,
not doing nothing, and you really want to play canasta?
Honestly, get Grams and Gramps out there, playing Mutants and Masterminds.
Right. You could be a superhero instead of just playing another round of canasta. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. And oh my God, look at her bundle.
Her
Yeah,
bundle, Becky, it's just so out there.
you know what, Becky? What you ought to do is Becky and everybody get your cosplay on. I swear. If I go through another convention season and I see not one superhero, I don't know what I'll do. I will put on spandex. This will be unpleasant.
Well, yes, but it's got to be airtight spandex because
because I'm just a mist.
Pretty much. Next time you see a roughly man-shaped balloon, you need to check and see.
Vaguely man-shaped balloon.
That's right. It could be Troy.
Just a mist here in the world, talking to a guy about what's in the tank. Other things we have cooking, friend? Is there more?
Basically, I got some articles coming out this week. I'm still recovering from my eye surgery. That's going swimmingly. So I am very much looking forward to Saturday with Alex running DKMC, being the GM for those folks.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the tune in. I'm going to go ahead and get that in the What's in the Tank, as well as the tomorrow's Joy of Game Mastering. And I hope his computer gets better.
I know. It was looking real 70s VHS.
Yes. I had the little static lines across the... It's like, are you running that through a filter?
Hey, is it really... So honestly, Grant, did your mother gift you to us on this day? Is it your day? Well, you know what that means.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh dear. You get the sexy version.
The lap dance comes later, Grant. We'll talk.
Yeah, of course. And we'll continue the rest of that song offline because it just gets really weird. But Grant, happy birthday you and to anybody else who might be not,
Wait. 1 week ago, wasn't that Alex's birthday?
Our Alex Thomas?
Yeah.
Oh, mercy. We weren't even... Oh, he slipped through again.
Oh.
We're going to have to do a birthday something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to figure that out.
All right. I'll jump out of a cake for him.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
To your therapist. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that you need therapy after watching you jump out of a cake. I did, but
I will definitely say you'll probably need it. So
your mileage may vary.
Yes.
Mother's Day is Grant's birthday. Nice. I love it. Yeah, and I know, Shannon, I know it was a bit of a surprise. The logo was meant to sort of be, kind of shared out a little bit. And we do it here first because of, primarily love.
Right.
But we'll get that out to you and in your hands. And we've got so many great versions of it. We've got stuff that's perfect for, like you see the little watermark up there in the upper left. perfect little watermark. You've got this long one. You've got one the more compact. And we really like it. I mean, even if you were paying attention, or you went take a look at the little ICO bug, when you go and see sort of the icon that represents our site is the little tiny green Ernene head, the new one, which you see right there on your screen. But hey, guess what?
What's that?
We're done. We've given everybody 4 bonus minutes.
Excellent.
I know. I like it. It's all for you, friends.
Late, but we wanted to make sure that you got your time, and we're done now.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, Kate, we do have a circle. Absolutely. Yeah, we do. I will. Well, hang on. Can I? Should I?
You should. I think you should.
My only concern is, what if?
What if?
Hang on one second. Let me see if I. I can't right now, but I will make sure that everyone gets a look. But we do have we all manner of treatments. Really, really excited about it. It is a very versatile logo, and I mean, it's a little bit of a departure, and also, the Green Ronine was the former, now retired Ronin was really wide and very, very tall, but tall because he had a long knife on a pole, which I think they call a halberd. And
wide because of
pantaloons. Yeah. Just a very, so kind of triangular, and very tall. And so, we are relieved. We certainly love, and we'll be, we'll be revisiting some of the pattern and some of the, design and the style of Green Ronine in other things, just as an homage and as a remembrance, and a celebration of. But this new logo is so sweet.
I know, and Claude said he already has an appointment to get it as a tattoo. So
fantastic! I hope you're gonna get right on your forehead like we agreed.
I hope he puts it right by his Bowman, but there might not be much space on his derriere left.
Oh no, the derriere.
Derriere.
Okay, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Hey, you know what? No joke. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have a lot of fun. Masterminds Monday is a true endeavor of joy, and we hope that you enjoy it as well. And if you do, maybe even if you don't, make sure you give us a like and you're subscribing. Share it with a friend. If you've got somebody who's like, I don't need no podcast about you, send them this episode. It's a good one. A lot of fun. And if there's go ahead.
Get in the tank, throw a like out there, make some comments, share your experiences. We'd love to see them, but just come by and chat if you need to. And
that's right. I mean, at the end of the day, we're here for you.
Absolutely.
In whatever capacity you need. You just let us know. Form of whatever. Okay, friend. I think that this is it.
It is.
I think it is.
No, really, we mean it this time.
Yeah, we do. Here comes the music. You know what that means.
What's
time
that?
to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.